Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Find out which organisation can help you if you make a purchase with a European-based trader, which includes holidays. And can you pack? I can't, I'm rubbish. Got a couple of butlers that are going to come on and teach us how to pack a suitcase correctly. That's all coming up on The Travel Show with John Guinn on seclosounds.org. Hello and welcome to The John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. Later in the show we hear from Gary Williams and Philip Sykes from the British Butler Institute. They're going to explain how to correctly pack a suitcase, and many suitcases if you're one of them sort of people who just can't manage with one. And of course there's travel news at the end of the show as well. But first, the UK European Consumer Centre. Bit of a mouthful, but what is it? Well, it's one of these things that happen because we're in a member of the European Union, which doesn't get much publicity because it doesn't suit the media, I guess. We always find out how Europe is making life harder for us or making it easier for people to come in. But it also makes life easier for a consumer, especially, more specifically when you're making a purchase from a trader in a country that's a member of the European Union. It can be quite complicated to sort things out when somebody's in a different country, but the UK European Consumer Centre, the sort of organisation because of Europe that can help put things right. So we're going to find out more about it. My guest is Adam Mortimer. He's a consumer advisor, so he spends a lot of his time speaking to consumers who've had problems making purchases with European trading companies. And we're going to find out all we need to know about the European Consumer Centre and how they can help and how we can contact them. So let's get on with the interview. Adam, what is the UK European Consumer Network?
So the European Consumer Centre network is a network of centres across the whole of the EU, including Iceland and Norway, who provide advice and assistance to people that have shopped cross-border, where they may have a problem with a product or a service that they bought.
So you're part of a European-wide organisation then? Yeah,
the network is the European-wide organisation. It's set up and co-funded by the European Commission, and then the organisations within the countries where they are is sort of part funded. We in the UK provide advice to UK consumers, and we also take casework on complaints from the other centres. So when they get a complaint from, say, France, one of their consumers, they would liaise with us through our system, and we would try and contact the company in the UK.
So if somebody wants to know what the European Union does for us, it's consumer protections up there. It's something that doesn't get mentioned much.
It's a good thing. Certainly as we're celebrating 10 years, it's been around, and it's a great tool for anyone that has encountered a problem. It's not like buying something on the high street in the UK and you can walk into the shop. It's not the same as that. So you need that level of assistance, and hopefully we do that justice.
You've just done a survey on European travel. Why did you carry that out?
The survey we did was based around finding out what people are doing and if it's different to 10 years ago. It also comes around from this, our 10-year anniversary, finding out people's habits, and really just seeing how well known we are, and giving a good opportunity to put our name out there with the celebrations.
What did you find in the results?
They generally run with what we thought. More people are travelling in Europe than they did 10 years ago, which is great. More people are buying things. People seem to know that even if they have had a problem, there's somewhere that they can go to get some help. So, they're all good indicators for us that we're doing a good job at the moment.
How have you helped consumers in the last 10 years when it comes to travel?
Wow, okay, so lots of things that we do. I mean, generally we're a contact point, so people that want to get advice about problems, whether that be air travel, You've now got regulations for trains and boats, lots of things. But the kind of things that we do, we give advice, and then if someone is having a problem with contacting that company, that's where we can step in and provide assistance in trying to make that first contact. Now, we don't have any enforcement powers, but, we're quite knowledgeable in the areas of law that we need to be, and, we're quite persuasive and letting traders know that there is an obligation to do something.
Have you helped somebody in the past with getting a trader to help to back down what they were doing?
Yeah, this is a daily occurrence. For us, it's a big part of our work is casework and helping consumers. It's not just giving advice in the first instance. So we deal with a multitude of different companies and different products and services. Obviously, big things like air travel. People coming to us saying they've already contacted the airline because they've had a flight cancelled or delayed or something like that, and then they haven't got a positive response. We can step in, contact the airline, inform them of the correct legal legislation in this area, and sometimes we do get positive response. Sometimes we might have some initial aversion to that, but it's as I said, we don't have any enforcement powers, so we're very much relying on the input of the company to work with us to resolve it amicably for the consumer.
Are you a fee-paying organisation, or are you free?
No, we're completely free service.
That's good to hear, because there's plenty of... I'm getting lots of spam emails now for people saying, that for a fee they'll help me if my flight is delayed. So
yeah, of
people
course.
just go straight to you.
Yeah, of course. We are an organisation part funded by the EU Commission and UK government. So it's a completely free service that we provide, and that's something that we will continue to do, I would imagine.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations that holiday makers should look for before they book?
Just very practical. Do your research. If you aren't aware of where you're booking, have a look online. You've got great websites on there. You've got lots of other people that will post on blogs or forums. If you can't find anything, then you should be careful, but that doesn't mean to say that it's bad. It could be new. It just might not have people making complaints. So it's not a foolproof tool, but the internet is good. You get what you're paying for is a big one for us, because if you're going to pay £100 for a week's holiday somewhere, then your expectation should be that that's what it's cost. If you're going to pay £5,000, then of course you're expecting something a bit more, and that should come across in when you're making the contact. If you're going to spend that much, you're probably going through a travel agent or something like that, rather than going direct with an owner off of a website. Another thing you can do is use your credit card. Anything over £100, you would be covered under Section 75. That's a credit card, not a debit card, to differentiate between the two. And if there is a problem, if there's a breach of contract, if the company goes out of business, then you're quite within your rights to make a claim against the card company for a reimbursement.
We've talked about travel because this is a travel show, but you cover all sorts of purchases over Europe?
Yeah, of course. So travel is a big one, certainly this time of year. Just purchases online is another big key. People buying cross-border, you do it online. You get people buying on holiday as well, but it's a big one. There's lots of legislation protecting consumers with cooling off periods when buying when buying products online. You've got car hire. You have booking accommodation, flights. Absolutely anything you think about. The only real things we don't do are financial services. Okay.
They're complicated. I don't want to get involved with that.
There are better bodies to deal with that than us. You've got financial ombudsman and lots of other organisations that can help better.
So if we want to contact you, how do we find out more about you?
Okay, so you can pop onto our website, which is www.ukecc.net. All of our contact details are on there. You can send us an email. You can send us a letter. We're very approachable. You're able to just contact with a problem. We can let you know, within a reasonable time if we think that we can help you, or if you've got anywhere better that you can go. there are lots of organisations out there, and we like to help as best we can.
Okay, Adam, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Excellent. Thanks a lot.
Gary Fitz here, every Monday, 10 o'clock. Coming up, we've got Eric and Ernie. Join me here on Seclo Sounds.
In your smile.
It's from 1975, Eric and Ernie were four...
Gary, it's not Eric and Ernie, it's Earl and Ernie, the Cape Brothers, Union Man.
Oh, I see. Gary Fitz here, every Monday, 10 o'clock.
Earl and Ernie.
Checking it out before you check in on the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. The UK European Consumer Centre have released a little bit of information, and the top 5 areas of complaints when it comes to UK consumers. Number 1 is restaurants, hotels and accommodation services with 36%. At 21% it's transport. At 16.5% it's recreation and culture. Then with 5% it's furnishing, household equipment and routine household maintenance. And finally 2.4% was for clothing and footwear. Where the most complaints arise from UK consumers about a trader in another European country, 40.1% of the complaints were about Spanish traders, 9.5% were from Ireland, 7.7% were French, 7.1% were German, and surprisingly 5.7% was Luxembourg. That could be something like Amazon, but I'm not too sure. And from other European consumers about UK traders, when it comes to complaints, the most complaints about UK traders from fellow Europeans, 28.5% came from Ireland, 13.6% come from France, 8.4% from Germany, 6.5% from Spain, and 6.3% from Sweden. So I hope you understand now that the European Union, not that I'm on a party political broadcast, but I'm just trying to make you aware that it's not just what's in the papers, that the in-out is a bit more complicated than what some people would have you to believe. I mean, something like a consumer organisation that helps out consumers, which if you're a regular listener, you know that's very important to me, then that can't be a bad thing, can it? If you've had a problem with a purchase you made from a European company, did you use the UK European Consumer Centre to sort out the problem? If you didn't, did you manage to sort it out yourselves, or do you really wish that you knew about these people who could have helped you in your problem? Let me know. John Guinn, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Now packing. A friend of mine has just put a message on Facebook. She's off to Africa for a few weeks, and she's posted how much her luggage weighed. Under 10 kilograms. Can you believe that a suitcase could weigh under 10 kilograms when you've got all your clothes and stuff in? My wife, that would be an utter impossibility because of all the shoes and the hair dryers and the hair straighteners, and it gets very, very stressful trying to get everything in under the limit. I mean, me personally, I don't have to worry about hair straighteners and hair dryers. As long as I've got a razor to trim off what I've got left, I'm fine. But anyway, what are you like when it comes to packing a suitcase? I am awful. I just jam it all in and I worry about ironing it when I get to the other side. So I needed to know how to pack properly. And who else than a butler to explain how to correctly pack? I mean, they're doing it all the time for their bosses, and they have to make sure it's done properly so they don't upset the boss, because that could be a very silly thing to do. So I went down to London to speak to a couple of butlers from the British Butler Institute, Gary Williams and Philip Sykes, and they're now going to go through talking about how to choose the right suitcase and how to pack it so that everything is in pristine condition when you get to the other side. Okay, Philip, what should I look for in a suitcase? Are some easier to pack than others?
Firstly, quality on our suitcase is fundamental. I think easy flowing, reasonably decent sized wheels, and I would go for brand names. Okay. Not to try and promote brand names, but they do generally come with a 5+ year guarantee, and if you keep the receipts, then they're very good at either replacing or repairing your suitcase.
I couldn't even tell you who makes mine, I've no idea, but it's not a brand name. Is there a type of suitcase we should avoid at all costs?
I think suitcases that are very low in price will obviously have